James Harden is a superstar. He is one of the game's top players right now. His jaw-dropping handles, step back, and deep bombs are something of an art form that he has perfected. He is poetry in motion, kind of like a Picasso on the basketball court. So with that being said, we want to honor the Beard and his spectacular play by going over his greatest crossovers, dunks, and overall performances. But before we jump into some of the Beard's greatest plays and moves, please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Let's start with his 3 best crossovers. And to start it off, let's go big, and with the crossover on Ricky Rubio. This might be the filthiest crossover ever on anyone. The Beard mopped the floor with Ricky Rubio in the Houston Rockets' 113-102 win over the Minnesota Timberwolves during this game. However, the win paled in comparison to what Harden did to Rubio. The Beard did Rubio dirty. It capped off a night in which he left everyone around him smitten by his astounding handles. The next one is against the Sixers and Drew Holiday. James Harden, who played at Arizona State University, and Drew Holiday, who played for UCLA, only met twice during their Pac-12 days, but the former Sun Devil gave fans a taste of what things might have been like had both stayed in school. In the game, the 76ers would beat the Rockets 107-100, but not before Harden got the last laugh with a crossover for the ages on Holiday in the 4th quarter. Lastly, the greatest crossover in Harden's career should be illegal. Wes Johnson should press charges. The way Harden leaves Johnson hanging in that moment is cruel, but perfect. Johnson doesn't scurry back to his feet. He has no desperate attempt to contest the shot. Johnson knows the score, and Harden, in 2 seconds that felt like 20, decided to let him stew in it. For all its memorable stare downs, rarely does an NBA player have the opportunity to gut his opponent with a look as a play is still in progress. Harden seems almost surprised at one point at what he had done. Everything was slowed down. Even his normal shooting rhythm came to a grinding halt, his grip resetting, his feet settling, and his eyes locked on Johnson. Even if the shot had missed, the damage had been done. Clippers fans were overtaken by the moment. Houston's bench nearly stormed the court. Next, let's look at Harden's top 3 dunks. The first is his dunk over Alec Burks. In a game where the Rockets destroyed the Utah Jazz 125-80, handing them their worst home loss in franchise history, Harden capped it off early. In the game, Harden splits the double team and throws down a sick tomahawk dunk over Alec Burks. The next big dunk of his is over Aaron Baines. The Beard threw down a poster dunk over the Spurs center Aaron Baines during the game in Houston. Harden was found cutting to the hoop with a well-timed bounce pass that gave the Beard a free path to the hoop. Harden wasted no time, gathering the pass straight into his elevation as Baines came over late to protect the rim. The finish was forceful and never really in doubt. Harden slammed it down left-handed past Baines' right-handed challenge. And the top dunk of Harden's career came when he was with Oklahoma City. In the first quarter of Oklahoma City's win over Cleveland, the Thunder had already managed to build a big lead, winning 29-13, a very young James Harden got a defensive rebound and ran a fast break. The 21-year-old took the ball all the way to the basket and slammed a one-handed thunderous dunk over Cavaliers forward J.J. Hickson. And last but not least, we look at the top 3 performances from the Beard's career, which encompasses all of his stats, including blocks, game-winning shots, points scored, etc. 3. April 21st, 2016 versus the Golden State Warriors. We start things off with Harden's memorable performance against the Golden State Warriors in Game 3 of their first-round matchup during the 2016 playoffs. At that point, Houston was down 2-0 in the series, with the Dubs logging back-to-back wins on their home floor. Harden knew what was at stake in Game 3, and it was clear that the Rockets had to win this game in order to stay alive in the series. What makes Harden's game winner even more impressive is how the Rockets actually turned the ball over in the previous possession, leading to a breakaway score for the Warriors. Houston was out of timeouts, so Harden had to take matters into his own hands. The Warriors would end up winning the series 4-1, but this was definitely one of Harden's most memorable plays in his entire career. 2. January 23, 2015 at Phoenix Suns. Harden's game-winning step-back jumper at the top of the key against the Phoenix Suns is one of his greatest. With the game tied and the shot clock turned off, Harden had PJ Tucker, now his teammate in Houston, one-on-one on an isolation play. He hit a nasty crossover against Tucker, creating enough room for himself to pull up for an uncontested jumper. However, Isaiah Thomas came to help, but his effort was too little too late, no pun intended. James Harden ended this contest with 33 points, on 8 of 18 from the floor, 3 3-pointers, 6 rebounds, 10 assists, 3 steals, and a block in 40 minutes of play. Lastly, we come to arguably the greatest game for James Harden. 1. January 3rd, 2018 at Golden State Warriors. Leading our small list is another one of Harden's masterpiece plays against the Warriors. One can say that Harden doesn't like the Warriors, and it appears that the Beard loves playing against them too, despite the fact that the Dubs have proven to be Houston's kryptonite over the past few years. With the Warriors up 2 points and just 5.5 seconds remaining in the game, it was pretty easy for the Warriors to read the inbound play the Rockets had drawn up. The ball was obviously going to make its way into Harden's hand, and the Dubs were able to cover him with 2 of their best defenders in Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. However, Harden didn't care about that too much, as he was still able to pull off what is easily one of the most amazing game winners of all time. Honestly, it was pretty challenging to sift through all of Harden's top moments and plays in his illustrious career. There were just too many of them that it felt like an injustice to leave some of them out. Nonetheless, the 3 plays mentioned are a strong representation of what Harden can do on the court, and why he is considered by many as one of the most dominating players in the game today. This season is going to be a lot different for James Harden than previous ones, as he wants out of Houston. This upcoming season, whether he is with Houston or not, he will continue to showcase all that the Beard can do. Check out some of these videos.